Alright, so here is the next mini project number 16. This is my finished product. It's not super fancy, but it'll do. And so, this is pretty much how it works. So we have our make, model, add-on option, salesperson, month. And so by changing the drop-down list, I can make it give me different things. So, pretty basic, pretty simple. Making it is a lot harder than it looked though. And so, easiest way to start off is we're going to need the price, cost, gross profit, and gross margin. We're going to need total units sold, sales, cost, profit, and this is total gross profit margin. So, make that smaller just so it fits there. No, maybe not. Okay, so this is how it works. So we'll start off over here with this guy. And what I did first is I named all my fields. So if I highlight this, I named this all options that we can pick from. Okay. And so then, yeah. And so the next thing that you have to do is I named all these the models. And if I highlight this whole table here, I get price. If I highlight this whole table here, it's cost. You do that by just going in here, have some random numbers there first. You can type in costs, just like that. You know, I want to undo that in case if I spelled it differently. But yeah, so that's pretty much how you do that. So I named all those because it made it a lot easier to do all of this stuff here. So, starting off, you gotta do just to simply label it. What I did was I did the word price here and I set that there, and so then I did concatenate just so I can have my labels here. You don't have to do this at all, I just did it for me. So I said I'm taking price and then I'm adding in the space, and then I clicked K3, which is rust proofing, and clicked enter, and then I just dragged it over until I said price entertainment package, which is everything that we have here. Okay, so that's my labels. Next is I did this long formula here that kind of calculates everything that we're going to need, and once you set this up, you're pretty much good to go for the whole project. So I said if this number here, K4, is greater than 0, then I want you to look up rust proofing in the price table, and then for the column I said to match this E4 here, which is the model escape. So by match I mean like give me the row number for escape in the model array 0 and then +1. That gives me the column index number. Okay, and so then, and that's the reason because you add a +1 because in your table you had your values that went down this way and then your values that went down this way. This value needed you to add an additional 1 since the left column was just the add-ons. And then I wanted you to multiply it by K4, which is just the number here. So that way, say if they bought 2 rust proofings, I don't know why you do that, then it would multiply the price by 2. Click enter and it gives you this number. And then if you anchored it the way I did by anchoring the row 3, and if you anchor column E and left everything else that way, oh whoops, then you can simply just drag and drop and drag and drop. And you see all the blank ones still have the formula in them, but I told to leave it blank if it was there. And then simply you just take the sum of all those to get the total add-ons. And then I added in the discount price here. So my discount price is 15%. If they got 3 or more, they get 50% off. So what I said was if the sum of the orders, so some of these guys right here, pretty simple way to do it, is greater than 3, then I want you to sum all this stuff. I guess it should be greater or equal to, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And so then I should drag and drop and that'll change all those formulas for me. Okay, so there we go. So if it's greater than or equal to 3, then I want you to take the sum of this minus the sum times the percentage. So that just is how much money they get off. There's cleaner ways to write that, but that's just the way I did it. And so, but if it's less than 3, then they don't get a discount, so you're just going to do a straight sum. Okay, so that's how you do that. Pretty simple. Okay. And then here what I did was I had taken this and I copied it, brought it over here, and pasted it. I did the exact same thing. I did costs, and then I did the concat again, and I just fixed this so it says proofing and stuff like that. So I just copied and pasted this straight from that formula. So all you gotta do is change this right here. Wait a second. We'll just compare these real quick. Oh, okay, yeah. So then what I said was if, the reason I'm doing if is if this number is greater than 0. If it's not, I just want to give me a blank. So if it's greater than 0, then I want you to look up, and it says x3 here because I had copied and pasted it. But I'm going to drag it over here so it finds rest proofing. And then I'm going to drag this over here because I want that to match my number 1 too. Okay, and then the only other thing I have to do since I named my tables is to change this to cost. Just like that. And we'll press enter. And bam, it gives me the correct formula. And then once again, just drag and drop it all the way across. And then we'll get the sums again. Grand total sales price is just going to be, I don't remember what it was, those two numbers. It says on the worksheet. So that gets you all your numbers that you're going to need for this. The only other thing that I did that's going to be helpful is I took the salespeople. So I went over here to this column that had all my salespeople, and I took it, copied the whole thing, came over to the side, and I pasted it. Let's scroll up real quick. I pasted it, and then what I did was I went to data, I added a filter here, and then I did remove duplicates. Clicked OK, clicked OK, and then what I had here was a list of all the sales reps. So what I could do with this, I could highlight it, and I named it salespeople. Just like that. Bam, done. Okay, I already have it. And I did the same thing with the months, so I had the months here. So that's pretty much how I got all those. So that way, when I go over to this field, I can go and you go to data validation, okay. And so then I said equals model, that gets me the model number. Over here, if I go to validation, yes, I said equals option, I just shortened it to options. And then over here for Ann, I had said sales team, and then right here data validations was just for months. And the reason why it's giving me that pop-up window is because I had merged these after I did the data validation. As you can see, it's actually like 4 sales, 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of just 1. Okay, so that gets you that. Then next we need the price, cost, gross profit, and gross margin. So what we do is we VLOOKUP, and I'm VLOOKUPing up escape anchored in the price table. And what I want to do is I wanted to match the model in the model field that I named 0 plus 1, because once again there's that empty column, and then false if it's not true. That way I can see if there's any errors, and bam, got it done. The next one over here is pretty much the same thing, except I literally took this formula, copied it, pasted it, and since I had named everything, I'll do that. But yeah, and so the only price is that I named this changed the table to cost instead. And that got me everything that I needed to know. And then the next thing is gross profit, just bam bam. And then gross margin is just going to be this over that. And that gets you there. And then percentage, of course. This is where it gets more complicated. So this was the salespeople, months. I did a count ifs here. And so I said, oh, this is super nice too. So I went into here, named this whole table here. I highlighted it all like this. And I named it all master just because it's the master table to go off of. And then I highlighted this field as profit. I highlighted this as total costs. I highlighted this, or actually I didn't, and this. And I said highlighted, I meant to say that I named it total costs. Okay, so that was super handy because I had all the fields that we need named already, which is very nice. And so if you name each of these columns what they are, it makes your life so much easier. So what we got here is I named the whole table master sales, and then that's all the sales people that we have. And so then it asks us for the criteria, and my first criteria is the name Ann of the salesperson, and so that gets me the sales team and person. And then I did by the month also, and then I clicked enter, and then it counts all those for me. And then the next one is sales, total sales. So I named my field wrong, but that's okay. So I have my total sales is my sum range. That's what I'm adding up, is all my sales. And so my first criteria is in my master sales team. Does their name match Ann, and does the month match January? And click enter, and it will count that up for me. And then it's pretty much the same thing here. Just change the very first one, this first formula here, to be the total cost instead of total sales. Same thing. And then this one, total profit, I cheated and I just said total sales minus total costs, get me the profit. And then the gross margin here is going to give me a bigger number, 6%, because we do profit over that. So that's pretty much how you do this project. I went through it pretty fast just because it takes a long time to record, but you can pause a lot, and I bet you can get it. Good luck to you.